The deep space monitoring station beeped softly in the quiet room. Ta sat up straight, his eyes widening. On his screen, the signal from UES Horizon flickered, then vanished. "Sir, we've lost contact with the Horizon." Tay's voice cracked as he called to his supervisor. 5 years ago, that was when Earth lost its most advanced ship. Captain Jeho Kim stood on the bridge of the UES Horizon, Earth's pride. The ship gleamed with new technology. 120 crew members worked under his command. They were the best Earth had to offer: scientists, engineers, soldiers, and explorers. "All systems ready, Captain," said Han, the ship's engineer. His fingers moved quickly over the control panel. Jeho nodded. "Take us to the edge of the solar system." The Horizon's engines hummed to life. The massive ship moved away from Earth, passing the Moon, then Mars, then the outer planets. Jeho watched the stars through the main window. This was his dream, to push beyond known space. "Captain, we're approaching the designated coordinates," said Sujin, the science officer. Her face glowed in the blue light of her screen. "Excellent. Prepare to gather data on the anomaly." The anomaly. A strange reading at the edge of the solar system. Scientists had detected it 3 months ago, a ripple in space that shouldn't be there. The Horizon was sent to investigate. "Energy readings are off the charts," Sujin said, her voice filled with wonder. "I've never seen anything like this." Jeho moved to her station. The screen showed a swirl of colors where empty space should be. "Is it dangerous?" he asked. Sujin shook her head. "Unknown. It's not giving off radiation. It's just strange." "Move us closer," Jeho ordered. "Careful approach." The Horizon inched toward the anomaly. The bridge fell silent. Even the ship seemed to hold its breath. "Sir," Min called from his communication station. "Earth is asking for an update. Tell them we're approaching the anomaly now. All readings stable." The swirl of colors grew larger on their screens, beautiful and terrifying at once. "Captain," Sujin's voice changed. "The energy is increasing. I think we should." A flash of light cut off her words. The ship shuddered. "Pull back," Jeho ordered. "Full reverse." Han's fingers flew over his controls. Engines not responding. The light grew brighter. Equipment sparked. Warning alarms blared. "Send emergency signal to Earth," Jeho shouted over the noise. Min tried, his face pale. "No connection. We're cut off." The light engulfed the bridge. Jeho felt a strange pulling sensation, as if his body was stretching in impossible directions. The ship groaned around them. "Hold on," he called to his crew, but his voice made no sound. Then everything went black. Back on Earth, panic spread. The Horizon, with all its crew, had vanished without a trace. Search ships found nothing, not even debris. It was as if the Horizon had never existed. Families waited for news. Dae-sung Park, commander of Earth Defense Command and Jeho's friend, led the search himself. "We will find them," he promised the families. But they didn't. Days became weeks. Weeks became months. Months became years. The Horizon became a mystery, a legend. Theories spread. Some said aliens took the ship. Others blamed secret government tests. A few claimed the crew had left Earth on purpose, seeking a new world. 5 years passed. Earth changed. The Arcturus Coalition, a group of alien planets, began pushing into human space. They demanded resources and threatened war. Humans prepared for the worst. Commander Park sat in his office, looking at an old picture of Jeho and himself at the academy. They had dreamed of space together. Now one lived among the stars forever, while the other prepared for war. His computer beeped. An urgent message. Park tapped the screen. "Sir," said a nervous officer, "we've detected a ship at the edge of the solar system." "Arcturus?" Park asked, already tired. "No, sir." The officer paused. It's broadcasting the United Earth signal. It's claiming to be the horizon. Park froze. That's impossible. There's more, sir. The officer's voice shook. We're receiving a transmission. It's Captain Ji-ho Kim. He's requesting permission to return home. Commander Park stared at the video screen. The face looking back at him was one he had seen in his dreams for 5 years. Ji-ho Kim looked exactly the same, not a day older. Ji-ho. Park's voice was barely a whisper. Is it really you? Ji-ho smiled. Yes, old friend. We've come home. Park shook his head. But how? It's been 5 years. 5 years? Ji-ho looked surprised. For us, it's been only 6 months. The Earth Defense Council gathered in the emergency meeting room. Voices rose as they argued. Some believed the ship was real. Others thought it was an Arcturus trick. We need to be careful, said Admiral Hai, banging her hand on the table. This could be a trap. But what if it's really them? Park asked. We can't just turn them away. After hours of debate, they reached a decision. The Horizon would be allowed to enter Earth orbit, but no one could leave the ship yet. A small team would go up to check. Science Director Soo-Jin Lee led the inspection team. As their small ship approached the Horizon, she gasped. The ship was clearly the Horizon. She could see the name and Earth symbol. But it was different. The hull shimmered like water in sunlight. It seemed to move slightly, even though it was solid. And the ship looked bigger than before. Are you seeing this? She asked her team. They nodded, eyes wide. The docking bay opened for them. It looked normal enough. They put on their spacesuits, just in case. Safety first. Captain Ji-ho met them at the airlock. He wore his Earth uniform, but something about him seemed changed. His eyes held a depth that hadn't been there before. Welcome aboard, he said. You can take off your helmets. Our air is safe. Soo-Jin tested the air. It was better than Earth's. Cleaner somehow. Slowly, they removed their helmets. Captain Kim, Soo-Jin said formally. I'm Science Director Lee. We need to ask you some questions. Ji-ho nodded. Of course. But first, let me show you the ship. You'll have questions I can't answer until you see. The inside of the Horizon was impossible. Corridors stretched longer than they should. Rooms were bigger on the inside than the outside. The engine room made Soo-Jin dizzy. Parts of it seemed to fade in and out of sight. What happened to your ship? She asked, touching a wall that felt warm and almost alive. We met friends, Ji-ho said simply. They helped us. The crew looked healthy. Too healthy. They moved with a grace that seemed almost unnatural. They smiled at the visitors, but said little. In the mess hall, Soo-Jin met Engineer Han. He was working on what looked like a 3D model, but the images floated in the air without any projector. How are you doing this? She asked. Han waved his hand, and the image changed. The Yun taught us. It's simple once you understand. The Yun. The people who helped us, Han explained. They live differently than we do. Back on the bridge, Ji-ho showed Soo-Jin the main controls. They weren't buttons and screens anymore, but swirling patterns of light that responded to touch and thought. Captain, Soo-Jin said carefully, what really happened to you out there? Ji-ho looked at his crew, then back to Soo-Jin. We fell through a hole in space. Our ship was damaged. We were dying. He paused. Then the Yun found us. Aliens? Soo-Jin whispered. More than that, Ji-ho said. They exist in multiple dimensions at once. They see time differently. They helped us understand so many things. A warning light flashed. One of the crew called out, Captain, 3 Arcturus ships just entered the solar system. Ji-ho's face grew serious. They're coming for us. The Arcturus Coalition. Soo-Jin asked, why would they care about you? Ji-ho touched the light controls. A 3D map of the solar system appeared, showing 3 large ships moving toward Earth. Because of what we brought back, he said quietly. The Yun gave us their technology for a reason. Earth is in danger, more danger than you know. The lights dimmed slightly as the Horizon's engines came to life. The ship hummed with power that Su-Jin could feel in her bones. "We came back to help," Jai-Ho said, "and we arrived just in time." The Earth Defense Council room was silent. Captain Jai-Ho stood before them, his crew beside him. On large screens, they could see the 3 Arcturus ships moving closer to Earth. "Tell us everything," Commander Park said. "From the beginning." Jai-Ho nodded. "We reached the edge of the solar system as planned. We found the anomaly, a tear in space itself. Before we could turn back, it pulled us in." Engineer Han stepped forward. "The ship was damaged badly. Life support was failing. We had maybe 2 days of air left. We drifted in unknown space," Jai-Ho continued. "Stars we had never seen surrounded us. Then we saw it, a light that moved like it was alive." Security Officer Min-ji joined in. "We thought we were hallucinating from lack of oxygen." The light came closer. It entered our ship through the walls like they weren't there. "The light took form," Jai-Ho said. "Not solid, but not quite energy either. They called themselves the Yun." Su-Jin, who had returned from the Horizon with them, put a small device on the table. It lit up, showing a 3D image of tall, glowing beings with shifting forms. "This is what they look like," Jai-Ho explained. "At least, this is how they appeared to us. They exist in multiple dimensions at once." Han touched the device, and the image changed to show the damaged Horizon. "They repaired our ship, but they did more than repair it. They improved it." "Improved how?" Admiral Hai asked, her voice suspicious. Jai-Ho looked at Han, who nodded. "The hull is now made of a material that can phase between states of matter. The engines don't burn fuel anymore. They fold space around the ship." "Impossible," one of the council members muttered. "We thought so too," Jai-Ho said. "But the Yun showed us that what we call the laws of physics are just limited understanding." Min-ji stepped forward. "They taught us how to control gravity, how to manipulate electromagnetic fields, even how to step slightly outside normal space-time." The council members looked at each other, faces showing disbelief and fear. "Why would these beings help you?" Commander Park asked. "They said they've been watching humans for a long time," Jai-Ho replied. "They believe we have potential. They said we have something rare, technological skill combined with empathy." Su-Jin added, "The Yun don't interfere with other species often, but they told us something is coming, something that threatens all life." Jai-Ho's face grew serious. "The Yun sent us back with a warning. The galaxy is not empty, and it's not peaceful." He touched Su-Jin's device again. The image changed to show a dark, formless mass that seemed to absorb light around it. They called it the Void Consciousness, an ancient entity that consumes civilizations and their knowledge. Min-ji pointed to the screens showing the Arcturus ships. "And those ships out there, they serve it. They're not just alien expansionists looking for resources. They're scouts for something much worse." The council room erupted in voices. Some called for immediate surrender to the Arcturus. Others wanted to attack. Commander Park raised his hands for quiet. "How do we know any of this is true?" he asked Jai-Ho. "You vanish for 5 years and return with an impossible ship and an incredible story." Jai-Ho looked at his old friend. "I know how it sounds, but the Yun gave us these technologies for a reason, to help defend Earth." "Against those 3 ships?" Admiral Hai asked. "Not just those ships," Jai-Ho said quietly. "What comes after them?" Han stepped forward again. "We can prove what we're saying." He held up what looked like a small crystal. "This contains knowledge the Yun gave us, plans for defensive systems that Earth can build. And the Horizon itself is proof," Min-ji added. "No human technology could create what our ship now carries." Jai-Ho looked at the council members one by one. We have 6 hours before the Arcturus ships reach Earth orbit. They will demand our surrender and the Yun technology. We need to decide now how we respond. Commander Park stood up. I believe you, Jai-Ho, but converting the Council will take time we don't have. Then let us show you what the Horizon can do, Jai-Ho said. One demonstration, and you'll understand why the Yun chose to help us. The Horizon moved smoothly away from Earth. On the bridge, Captain Jai-Ho sat in his command chair. Commander Park and Admiral Hai stood behind him, watching closely. Where are we going? Admiral Hai asked, her voice tight with worry. Just past the moon, Jai-Ho replied. Far enough to be safe, close enough to return quickly. The ship moved faster than should be possible. No pushing back in seats, no feeling of speed, just smooth movement. In seconds, they passed the moon. Impossible, Park whispered. No ship can move this fast without acceleration effects. Engineer Han smiled from his station. The Yun taught us how to create a bubble of altered spacetime. Inside, we feel nothing. Prepare for demonstration, Jai-Ho ordered. Minji's fingers danced over glowing controls. Target drone released. A small metal sphere floated away from the ship. Han pressed a crystal on his panel. A beam of soft blue light shot from the horizon. The sphere didn't explode. It simply vanished. What happened? Admiral Hai demanded. We didn't destroy it, Jai-Ho explained. We shifted it partially out of our dimension. It's still there, just not fully in our reality. Park leaned forward. You can send things to another dimension. Not exactly, Han said. We move them halfway between dimensions. They can't interact with our world until we bring them back. A second beam hit the empty space. The sphere reappeared. Back on Earth, intelligence analyst Jun Seo sat in a dark room filled with screens. He had been studying the Arcturus Coalition for years. Something about the captain's story bothered him. He pulled up old transmissions, searching for patterns. His eyes widened. He grabbed his comm unit. Connect me to Commander Park immediately, he demanded. It's urgent. On the horizon, Park's communication device beeped. Jun Seo's face appeared, looking worried. Commander, I found something, Jun Seo said. The Arcturus transmissions contain coded messages. I've been trying to break them for months. And? Park asked. I just succeeded. They refer to something called the Great Consumer and the Knowledge Eater. They're serving something they fear. Jai-Ho nodded grimly. The void consciousness. There's more, Jun Seo continued. They know about the horizon. They've been searching for Yun technology for centuries. That's why they've been pushing into our space. As if hearing its name, the communication system lit up. A harsh voice filled the bridge. Earth vessels. This is Commander Sol of the Arcturus Coalition. We detect Yun dimensional technology in your possession. Surrender it immediately or face destruction. The alien's face appeared on screen. It had gray skin and 4 eyes arranged in a diamond pattern. Its mouth was a thin line without lips. We will not harm your planet if you comply, Sol continued. Refuse, and we will take the technology by force. Jai-Ho stood up. This is Captain Jai-Ho Kim of the UES Horizon. We will not surrender our ship or its technology. Sol's 4 eyes blinked in sequence. You do not understand what you possess, human. The technology is not meant for primitive species. It is dangerous. We understand more than you think, Jai-Ho replied. Sol leaned closer to the screen. You have 6 Earth hours to decide. After that, we will attack. The communication ended. Admiral Hai turned to Jai-Ho, her face pale. Can your ship fight 3 of theirs? She asked. Yes, Jai-Ho said simply. But we need a plan. They'll target Earth to force our hand. Back in Earth orbit, the Council debated fiercely. Some wanted to hand over the horizon to save Earth. Others believed Jai-Ho's warnings about the void consciousness. We should surrender the ship, one member argued. We're not ready for this fight. And then what? Commander Park countered. The Arcturus will take the technology and return with more ships. This is just the beginning. Jai-Ho looked at his crew. They nodded, ready to follow his lead. We have less than 6 hours, he said. We need to prepare Earth's defenses using what the Yun taught us. Min-Ji stepped forward. I have an idea, Captain. The Yun showed me how their shield technology works. We can adapt it to protect major cities. Han nodded. And I can modify our weapons to work on Earth's defense satellites. Jai-Ho turned to Commander Park. We need your trust. Earth faces its greatest threat, but we brought back the means to fight it. Park looked at his old friend. He saw determination in Jai-Ho's eyes. He made his decision. Tell us what to do. The clock was ticking. 5 hours remained before the Arcturus deadline. Earth buzzed with activity like a kicked anthill. In the Horizon's engine room, Engineer Han worked with Earth's top scientists. They stood around a table with a glowing blue crystal in the center. This is a small piece of the shield technology, Han explained. It creates a field that shifts attacks slightly out of phase with our reality. One scientist reached toward the crystal. May I? Han nodded. The scientist touched it and pulled back quickly. It's humming. It resonates with multiple dimensions, Han said. We need to adapt it to work with Earth's power systems. They connected the crystal to Earth computers. Code flowed across screens faster than human eyes could follow. The Yun technology seemed to understand what they needed. In another part of the ship, Security Officer Min-Ji trained Earth soldiers on new weapons. The guns looked simple but glowed with inner light. These don't kill, she explained. They shift targets partly out of phase. They become ghosts, unable to touch or harm our world. A young soldier raised his hand. Is it permanent? Min-Ji shook her head. No, we can bring them back. That's the point. The Yun believe in defense, not destruction. On the bridge, Captain Jai-Ho and Commander Park looked at maps of Earth. They marked key places to defend. We can't protect everything, Park said, his face grim. We need to choose. Jai-Ho pointed to major cities. Shield these first. The Arcturus will target population centers to force our surrender. Communications specialist Yen-Ji sat at her station, eyes closed, fingers touching light patterns that flowed like water. She opened her eyes suddenly. Captain, I can hear them, she said, voice filled with wonder. Jai-Ho turned. The Arcturus. Yen-Ji nodded. Their communications. The new systems let me tap into their signals. They're planning to attack before the deadline. How soon? Park asked. 3 hours, Yen-Ji said. Their main target is the Horizon. Secondary targets are major cities. Park grabbed his comm unit. We need to speed up deployment. The attack is coming early. In her lab on Earth, Science Director Su-Jin stared at equations that filled wall screens. The Yun technology operated on principles that human science had barely begun to understand. Yet something seemed familiar. It's like our string theory, she muttered. But they've proved it and built on it. She saw a pattern in the equations. Her hands moved quickly, making changes. The numbers aligned perfectly. She laughed out loud. I understand. She grabbed her comm unit. Captain Jai-Ho, I've figured out the theoretical foundation. I can explain it to our scientists now. We can adapt it faster. Around the world, strange devices were placed in city centers. They looked like simple metal pillars with blue crystals on top. People gathered to watch, wondering what they were. In New York, a child pointed. Is that alien stuff? Her mother nodded. Yes, to protect us. In the Horizon's weapon room, Jai-Ho met with tactical expert Jin-Woo. They looked at holographic displays of the Arcturus ships. Their hulls are reinforced against conventional weapons, Jin-Woo said. But your phase weapons should work. Jai-Ho touched the display. We need to disable, not destroy. Every ship we save is one less serving the void consciousness. Jin-Woo frowned. You're showing mercy to an enemy that plans to destroy us. The Yun taught us that technology without wisdom leads to ruin, Jaiho said. We won't become like the thing we're fighting. Jinwoo studied Jaiho's face. You've changed. We all have, Jaiho replied. We've seen beyond our small corner of the universe. There are horrors out there, yes, but also wonders. On the Arcturus command ship, Commander Xol watched Earth on his screens. His 4 eyes narrowed. They're deploying Yun technology, he hissed to his officers. Move up the attack. We cannot allow them time to prepare. His second-in-command bowed. What about the ultimatum? A distraction only, Sol said. Launch all fighters. Target their shield generators first. Back on the horizon, Yunji straightened in her chair. Captain, they're moving. All 3 ships are launching fighters. Jaiho's face hardened. So it begins. Battle stations. Tell Earth to activate the shields. Around the world, the blue crystals lit up. Domes of shimmering light spread over cities. The first battle for Earth's future was about to start. The sky filled with Arcturus fighters. They looked like dark stars falling toward Earth. Each city waited, protected only by the strange new shields. In New York, people looked up in fear. The first Arcturus fighter fired. A beam of red light shot toward the city. It hit the shield. Blue light flared where the beam struck. The shield held. All around the world, the same scene played out. Red beams hit blue shields. Cities remained safe. For now. Commander Park watched from Earth Defense Headquarters. The shields are working. But one of his officers pointed to a screen. Sir, the shields are weakening with each hit. They won't last forever. Above Earth, the horizon moved to intercept the main Arcturus ships. Captain Jaiho stood on the bridge, his crew at their stations. Yunji, keep monitoring their communications, he ordered. Han, prepare the phase drives. Minji, weapons ready. The horizon shot forward with impossible speed. It appeared directly in front of the lead Arcturus ship. The enemy vessel was massive, 5 times the size of the horizon. Its hull was dark gray with glowing red lines. Open communications, Jaiho said. Commander Xol's face appeared on screen. His 4 eyes widened when he saw Jaiho. You dare to challenge us directly? Sol asked. 1 small ship against 3 warships. This small ship has Yun technology, Jaiho replied calmly. I'm giving you 1 chance to leave Earth space peacefully. Sol made a sound like harsh laughter. The void hungers for your knowledge. We will take it. The communication ended. The Arcturus ship fired all weapons. Beams of red energy shot toward the horizon. Now, Han, Jaiho called. Han pressed a crystal on his panel. The horizon shifted. It didn't move aside. It seemed to become less solid. The red beams passed through it without damage. Phase shift successful, Han reported. We're partially out of normal spacetime. Minji, target their weapons, Jaiho ordered. Minji touched her controls. Blue beams shot from the horizon, hitting the Arcturus ship's weapon ports. The ports didn't explode. They simply stopped glowing. Direct hits, Minji reported. Their main weapons are phased out. The Arcturus ship tried to turn away. The horizon followed easily, firing more blue beams. Systems all over the enemy ship went dark. The other 2 Arcturus ships moved to attack. They fired all weapons at once. The space around the horizon lit up with red energy. Full phase shift, Jaiho ordered. The horizon became ghost-like. All the enemy beams passed through it harmlessly. They can't hurt us, Park whispered from Earth headquarters. It's incredible. But the Arcturus ships were still sending fighters toward Earth. The city shields were weakening. We need to stop those fighters, Jaiho said. Prepare the area phase beam. Han looked worried. Captain, we've never tried it on this scale. We have no choice, Jaiho replied. Earth's shields won't last. Han nodded and worked quickly. A large crystal rose from the center of the bridge. It glowed with blue-white light. Area phase beam ready, Han reported. Target the fighter groups, Jai-Ho ordered. Careful not to hit Earth. The crystal pulsed. A wave of blue light spread out from the horizon. It washed over the fighters. One by one, they became transparent, then vanished from normal space. On the Arcturus command ship, Sol watched in horror. Impossible. They've mastered area phase technology. His second-in-command looked afraid. Only the void consciousness has such power. And now these humans do too, Sol said bitterly. The Yun have betrayed us all. The horizon turned to face the 3 Arcturus ships. Though it was much smaller, the enemy vessels began to retreat. They're pulling back, Yunji reported. I'm picking up emergency signals. Let them go, Jai-Ho said. They need to carry our message back. What message? Minji asked. That Earth is protected, Jai-Ho replied, and that we know about the void consciousness. As the Arcturus ships retreated, cheers erupted in cities around Earth. The strange shields had held. The mysterious returned ship had saved them. In Earth headquarters, Commander Park smiled for the first time in days. You did it, old friend. But Jai-Ho's face remained serious as he watched the Arcturus ships leave. This was just the first wave, he said quietly. They'll be back. With something worse. 3 days passed since the first battle. Earth celebrated their victory. But in the command center, Captain Jai-Ho and his crew knew better. They watched the long-range scanners with worried faces. There, Yunji said, pointing to a blip on the screen. Something big is coming. The blip grew larger. Soon, everyone could see it clearly. A massive ship, 10 times the size of the Arcturus warships. Behind it came 5 more Arcturus warships. What is that? Commander Park asked, his voice low. A void vessel, Jai-Ho said grimly. It carries a piece of the void consciousness. Science Director Su-Jin studied the readings. The energy coming from it. It's like nothing I've ever seen. It's bending space around itself. Admiral Hai entered the room. Her face was hard. The Earth Council has voted. They'd want to surrender. They don't believe we can fight that thing. Jai-Ho looked at his crew. They had been talking about this moment since they returned. We can fight it, he said, but not in the way they expect. Su-Jin stepped forward. The Yun taught us something important about the void consciousness. It exists partly outside normal spacetime. That's its strength. And its weakness, Han added. If we can force it fully into our dimension, it becomes vulnerable. Minji nodded. I have a plan. But it's dangerous. The plan was simple but risky. Minji would lead a small team onto the void vessel using phase shift technology. They would plant special crystals that would force the void consciousness fragment into normal space. Meanwhile, the horizon would create a dimensional rift at the right moment. It's a suicide mission, Admiral Hai said. No, Minji replied. The Yun technology will protect us. But we need to move fast, before the void vessel gets too close to Earth. The horizon moved out to meet the approaching fleet. Behind it came Earth's best ships, now equipped with basic Yun shielding. On the bridge, Jai-Ho opened communications with the void vessel. The screen showed darkness at first. Then a shape formed. Not quite solid, not quite gas. It spoke in a voice that seemed to come from everywhere. Humans, you possess knowledge that is not yours. Give it to us. Join us, or be consumed. We will not surrender, Jai-Ho said firmly. The Yun chose us for a reason. The darkness seemed to laugh. The Yun are fools. They believe in balance. The universe trends toward emptiness. Toward us. The communication ended. The void vessel fired. Not beams of energy, but streams of darkness that ate through space itself. Phase shift, Jai-Ho ordered. The horizon shifted partially out of normal space. The darkness passed through it, but not completely. The ship shuddered. Partial damage, Han reported. Their weapons can affect us even when phased. Get us closer, Jaiho ordered. Minji, prepare your team. Minji and 5 crew members stood in the transport room. They wore suits made of the same shifting material as the Horizon's hull. Each carried a pack of crystals. Remember, Minji told them, place the crystals at the points we discussed. Then get back to the extraction zone. They stepped onto the platform. Han activated the transport. They vanished. They reappeared inside the void vessel. It was unlike any ship they had seen. The walls pulsed like they were alive. The air felt thick and wrong. Move quickly, Minji whispered. Stay phased as much as possible. They split up, moving through the strange ship. Minji placed her first crystal at what seemed to be a power junction. It glowed blue against the dark walls. As she moved deeper into the ship, she saw movement. Aliens of different species walked the halls. They looked sick, with gray skin and empty eyes. Slaves of the void, she whispered to herself. One alien saw her, but instead of raising an alarm, it moved closer. You fight the void, it asked in broken human language. Minji nodded carefully. Many of us were taken, forced to serve. The alien's eyes cleared slightly. Help us. More aliens gathered. They looked at Minji with growing awareness. The void's control is weakening, Minji realized. Our presence is affecting it. She made a quick decision. Help us place these crystals. They will free you from the void's control. The aliens took crystals and moved through the ship. Minji contacted Jaiho. Captain, we have unexpected allies. The ship is full of enslaved species. They're helping us. Outside, the Horizon faced the void vessel. Jaiho watched the sensors as crystal after crystal activated inside the enemy ship. Get ready, Han, he said. When all crystals are active, create the rift. The battle for Earth's future had entered its most dangerous phase. Inside the void vessel, Minji checked her device. All crystals were in place. The enslaved aliens had helped place them faster than she had hoped. Now they gathered around her, waiting. Get to the escape pods, she told them. When the void is weakened, leave the ship. She contacted Jaiho. Captain, all crystals are placed. We're heading to the extraction point. On the horizon, Jaiho nodded. Good work. Han, prepare the dimensional rift. Han's fingers moved over the glowing controls. The large crystal in the center of the bridge pulsed with bright blue light. Rift ready, Captain, Han reported. But we need to be closer. Take us in, Jaiho ordered. The horizon moved toward the massive void vessel. The enemy ship fired constantly now, streams of darkness cutting through space. The horizon phased in and out, dodging what it could, its shields absorbing the rest. Inside the void vessel, Minji and her team ran through the strange corridors. Behind them, the walls began to shake and crack. Dark smoke leaked out, trying to form a shape. It knows what we're doing, Minji called to her team. Run faster. They reached the extraction point. Minji counted her team. One was missing. Ta. She called into her comm. Where are you? Almost there. Tay's voice came back, breathing hard. The crystals in Section 3 are activating early. The void is fighting back. Minji saw him turn the corner, running toward them. Behind him, darkness flowed like water, reaching for him. Phase shift now. Minji ordered her team. They shifted partially out of normal space. The darkness couldn't touch them. Horizon, extract now. Minji called. The team vanished from the void vessel, reappearing on the Horizon's transport platform. We're back, Minji reported. All team members safe. Jaiho nodded. Activate all crystals. Han pressed a control. On their screens, they could see the void vessel light up from within as all crystals activated at once. The massive ship stopped firing. It seemed to shudder in space. Now, Han, Jaiho ordered, create the rift. The horizon's main crystal fired a beam of intense blue-white light. Where it hit the space near the void vessel, reality itself seemed to tear open. A swirling portal appeared, pulling at the void vessel. Inside the enemy ship, the crystals forced the void consciousness fragment fully into normal spacetime. No longer able to exist partially beyond reality, it became vulnerable. On the bridge of the horizon, Yunji monitored communications. "Captain, the Arcturus ships. They're turning on each other. Some are attacking the void vessel, others are defending it." "The freed slaves," Jaiho said. "They've taken control of some ships." The void vessel broke apart from within. Dark energy poured out, caught in the dimensional rift. It swirled and fought, but couldn't escape. "Close the rift," Jaiho ordered. Han reversed the beam. The rift collapsed, taking the dark energy with it. The remains of the void vessel drifted in space, powerless. Around it, the battle between Arcturus ships continued briefly. Then 3 ships turned and fled. 2 remained, approaching the horizon slowly. "They're hailing us," Yunji reported. Jaiho opened communications. An alien face appeared, similar to Commander Xol, but with clear, bright eyes. "Humans of Earth," the alien said. "We thank you. We have been slaves for generations. The void controlled our minds, our ships, our people." "You're free now," Jaiho replied. "Yes," the alien agreed. "And we wish to make peace. Many Arcturus will follow us. Others still serve the void. The war is not over, but today was a great victory." 3 months later, Earth had changed. Ships from freed alien worlds visited regularly. Earth scientists worked with alien researchers to understand Yun technology. Cities gleamed with new buildings made of materials that shifted and changed to meet people's needs. In a new building called the Galactic Exchange, Captain Jiho stood with Science Director Sujin. They looked at a star map showing hundreds of worlds. "The Yun were right about us," Sujin said. "Humanity was ready for this." Jaiho nodded. "They gave us the tools, but it was our choice how to use them. We chose to free rather than conquer." Outside, the horizon waited in its dock. It looked different now, larger, more beautiful. New crew members from Earth and other worlds prepared it for a new mission. "Ready to go?" Sujin asked. "Yes," Jaiho replied. "The dimensional gateways the Yun showed us. There are countless worlds to explore, and more pieces of the void to fight." They walked together toward the horizon. Above them, the stars seemed brighter, closer than before. Earth was no longer alone in the dark. Thanks to a ship that vanished and returned with impossible technology, humanity had found its place among the stars.